Hey, hi, Peter, Watch Retrospect. How you doing today? Today we're going to talk about a Certina watch that I have not talked about before. Certina is a company that was founded in 1888 by two brothers, Adolf and Alfred Kurth, back in Switzerland way back then. And the watch we're looking at here is a what they call a Super PH500M. And as you can tell by the name, it is a 500-meter diver. And this was, some people actually call this nicknamed this a UFO watch, as you can kind of see by this very unique 14-sided bezel that is on this watch. So it kind of had a little flying saucer effect. This one here is a special edition, Sea Turtle Conservancy edition, and part of the proceeds go to what they call the STC, which is a Florida-based company. That's not company, but organization. That's all about the protection of sea turtles, and I believe was founded in 1959. Now, the original Super PH500 was a watch that was actually issued and used in the tech-type projects back in the late 60s. And that was a project that was kind of a joint effort with NASA and the Navy and other government people, and this was to study the effects of people living in adverse conditions underwater, and it lasted for 2 months, for 60 days, and they were about 50 feet down in these habitats that were made to house these what they called the aquanauts. And this study was for future use for the space missions. This watch also comes, this is the blue dial here, obviously. It also comes in a orange and black dial. The black one being more consistent to the, to the original one from the late 60s. As you see the DS on the dial, that stands for dual security, which was kind of their, really their battle cry of dual security being for water resistance and shock resistance. And that has actually been around since 1959 as well, that they labeled their watches with this DS emblem. Now, this watch originally came with a NATO strap. I have it on a Tropic strap. Let me show you the NATO it comes with. And this is one of those NATOs that is, like some other companies, this is actually one that's made out of ocean plastic material. This watch is a very thick watch, almost 15 millimeters thick, and I'm just not a NATO person. It's a nice strap. It's got some really nice polishing and on the buckle and all. It just, to me, it kind of lifted the watch even higher than it is already. And I'm just not a NATO guy, so I kind of took it off and put it on this Tropic pretty quick after I had received this watch. But anyway, let's look a little bit more at the watch. It's getting a bit more in focus here. It is a 43 millimeter thick watch, width watch. It is lug to lug is 48 lug to lug, so it is a good size watch. It is, like I said, just about 15 millimeters thick. And like I said, it is a 500-meter diver. It is ISO 6425 rated, which is always a great thing on any dive watch, which means actually the water resistance is tested at 25% more than the rating, the 500 meters. So this is actually tested to 625 meters, which is pretty crazy. And of course, being ISO, it means it has requirements for shock, anti-magnetism, and also low light visibility. It does have the infamous 20 millimeter lug width on it, which means you can put almost any type of strap on it. Again, this is on a genuine navy blue Tropic, and again, it kind of brought it a little bit closer to my wrist. Got a beautifully polished case. Everything on it is polished, and it's very well done. Very nice polishing on it. And again, you got that very unique bezel. It's a 14-sided bezel. Actually, the bezel, you can actually take the crystal off by putting a wrench to this top part of the bezel to change a broken crystal, and that's the way they designed it for quick repair, especially being used on those projects that they did. The bezel is a very unique setup where it's locking. You have to push this bezel down. As you can see here, there's a little bit of a gap between the case and the bezel ring here, and you literally have to push it down to unlock it to turn it, and then it locks. It locks, and it's kind of, you know, so there's no way of knocking this. You know, if you're down there working, there's no way of knocking this thing out of alignment at all. So I thought that was one of the neat features, one of the things that drew me to this watch when I started looking at it. It does have sword hand, you know, nice white sword hand. That's all Super Luminova lume on this. So it's got a white sword type hour hand. And one of my favorite features of watches is the fact that it does have the orange minute hand. And, you know, I was kind of, you know, they make this in a black dial and an orange dial as well. And the whole time I was looking at this watch and considering buying it, I was really, really in love with the orange dial, the one. And I think at the last minute, when I noticed they had the blue one and they had the orange minute hand, the other two watches don't have that orange minute hand, kind of swayed me to the blue one. You know, I kind of have a fetish for blue divers as it is anyway. And for a little while after I got it, I kind of regretted I didn't get the orange dial. But you know, since then I've found Doxa as a company, and I have my Doxa Sub 200 in orange, so that kind of eased the pain and the regret that I did not buy this in the orange dial. But just as it's a slight, as you can see, it's a very slight sunburst blue dial. You get it out in the sun, it gets a little bit more pronounced, but it is still a very pretty dial. And then you have the you know, the orange minute hand, and then that DS is also in orange, so kind of contrasts there nicely. It is all printed indices. It has, you know, Certina and DS, Super PH500M. The PH stands for, I believe it's sort of French for pressure hydrostatic instead of water resistance. So that's what that's all about. It has a little Certina logo up top, which is applied, but the rest of it is all printed. You have the date at the 3 o'clock with the white date dial behind it. And one nice thing I really do love about this watch, and you know, I have so many Solitas that have like a 38-hour power reserve, but this has that Powermatic 80, and it does have a reserve of 80 hours, and that's such a nice, it is such a nice feature. I really do dig that. But again, if you look at this case, it's just really a beautifully polished case. On the back, they've got a nice embossed Sea Turtle Conservancy emblem on there, and you know, all the typical printing on there does show you the ISO rating and everything back there. But again, I can't stress how nice the polishing is done on this watch, you know, especially for a $1,000 watch. But anyway, let's put it on and see how she looks on my wrist. I have I have quite a few other 500-meter divers. Let's get this watch off here. Let's get this one on here. And yeah, it's on the Tropic strap. It does make it fit a lot closer to my wrist. Again, on the NATO, it just sat very high. You know, it's not very high, but here she is on my 7-inch wrist, and it's not the closest fitting watch that I have to my wrist, but still, you know, not too big. Like I said, it only has a 48-millimeter lug to lug, so let's get a little bit better focus here. But very neat watch. It's got the blue aluminum insert, which is very consistent with what the inserts looked like back in the 60s. And it's just, you know, sort of a very retro-looking watch for sure. Certina's got quite a big following. I don't know if I'd call it a cult following. Apparently they're a little bit larger in Europe than they are here in the States. But there's definitely quite a bit on YouTube about these watches. There's definitely a good following here. A lot of people really love these watches. I've had this for quite a while, and this is my first time really doing anything with it. The problem I've had is I bought too many watches too quickly, and I just really haven't had a chance to wear this very much to really have my honeymoon phase with it. But I think it's time for me to start wearing it and you know, really appreciating for what it is. These watches run I think their prices are up to about $960 right now, so still under $1,000. You know how much I love my Squallies, and I have my Squally with ocean blue, And those things have gone up in price to about close to $1,100. So this is definitely a really great alternative to that, and still being under $1,000. So, if anybody's interested in this, yeah, definitely take a look at these. They're very unique looking. And that locking bezel is just a kind of a talking point with people, because that's very unique that they do that. But great watch. They have a 2-year warranty. So Certina Super PH500, take a look at them. They're absolutely very interesting watch, and the quality of the polishing and the beautiful dial on it. And again, I love the orange minute hand on these. So check them out. This is Peter, Watch Retrospect. I really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much.